Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to invite you to find your seats and settle in. We will be starting in a couple of minutes, so please just find seats and settle in, and once I get the cue, we will begin. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Amy Kimihei, and I am the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Student Success in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Thank you for joining the 2023 SBS Graduate Convocation Ceremony. We're thrilled to have all of you join us today as we celebrate with you. And to the graduates and supporters joining us virtually from throughout Arizona and around the world, we thank you for participating in today's ceremony as well. Anna?
Buenas tardes, listos. Soy Ana Ochoa O'Leary, soy la directora del Departamento de Estudios Mexicoamericanos aquí en el Colegio de Ciencias de Comportamiento y Ciencias Sociales de la Universidad de Arizona. Gracias por acompañarnos hoy. En esta ceremonia se celebran los graduados de estudiantes de posgrado de 2023. Nos acompañan aquí desde lejos, a través de todo el estado de Arizona y todo el mundo. Aquí estamos celebrando y les damos la más cordial bienvenidos para estar aquí con nosotros, acompañándonos, y aquellos todos que no los pudieron acompañar hoy. En esta jornada de tan gran importancia, en cual los estudiantes de posgrado se reciben de maestría y doctorado. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Ahorita es mi honor de darle la bienvenida a la doctora Amy Kimihei, que acaba de hablar, para introducir la procesión.
As we celebrate today, we respectfully acknowledge the University of Arizona is on the land and territories of Indigenous peoples. Today, Arizona is home to 22 federally recognized tribes, with Tucson being home to the O'odham and the Yaqui. Committed to diversity and inclusion, the university strives to build sustainable relationships with sovereign Native nations and Indigenous communities through education offerings, partnerships, and community service. It is now my honor to welcome our processional for 2023, College of Social and Behavioral Sciences Graduate Convocation, which is being led by the Dean of the College, Dr. Lori Poloni Staudinger, followed by the Convocation Platform, Dean of the University of Arizona Graduate College, Dr. Kirsten Limesund, Associate Dean of the Graduate College, Dr. Margaret Pitts, Convocation Speaker, Associate Professor of History, Dr. Allison Futrell, SBS Associate Dean of Research and Graduate Studies, Dr. Jane Zaviska, and our distinguished department heads, school directors, and faculty advisors. From the Department of American Indian Studies, the School of Anthropology, the Department of Communication, the Department of English, the School of Geography, Development, and Environment, the School of Government and Public Policy, the Department of History, the Human Rights Practice Program, the School of Information, the School of Journalism, the Division of Late Medieval and Reformation Studies, the Center for Latin American Studies, the Department of Linguistics, the Department of Mexican American Studies, the School of Middle Eastern and North African Studies, the Department of Philosophy, the School of Sociology. Thank you very much, and would you please silence your cell phones? And now I want to welcome Dr. Lori Poloni Staudinger, Dean of the College.
Thank you, Dr. Kimmy Hay and Dr. Ochoa Leary. On behalf of everyone in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, it is my pleasure today to extend a warm congratulations to the master's and doctoral graduating class of 2023. To the parents, partners, children, and other family members assembled here today, as well as to friends and supporters, I want to say a few words about the advanced degrees that these graduates have earned and what makes this day so special. Our graduates' degrees are conferred by one of this nation's top 20 public research universities, and by the only institution in the state of Arizona awarded membership in the Association of American Universities. This is a collection of elite public and private universities that include the likes of Berkeley, Columbia, Harvard, MIT, Princeton, and Yale. University of Arizona's inclusion in this esteemed body is due in part to the quality of the SBS faculty who taught the courses and directed the theses and dissertations of the graduates we celebrate today. For those of you here today celebrating the accomplishments of a loved one or friend, I don't need to tell you that your graduate is smart. What I might need to tell you instead are a few of the things of what it has been like for them and for the faculty who have advised them, who we honor in today's program. First, it takes both time, sometimes a lot of time, and persistence to master a field, and even more of both to make new discoveries in that field. For master's students, an additional 2 or 3 years is typically required on top of the undergraduate degree, while twice as many years can be tacked on for those pursuing a PhD. Second, as I'm sure you'll see when they greet their advisors, the relationship between graduate students and their faculty members can be very special. This is why we honor both here today. By the time the theses or dissertations are completed, the advisor often moves from mentor to friend and colleague. There are few things more rewarding to research faculty than to send their graduate students into the world to advance fields in new and exciting ways. We take pride in students who produce work that stands both on the shoulders of previous scholars and at the horizon of new knowledge. Some of you will have evaluated a theory in a never-tested context. Some will have developed a novel solution to a problem that no one else has solved. Some will have written brilliant essays that inspire the emotions and critical reflections of others. Many of you will have become more of an expert in a specialized area than even your advisor on this stage. Graduates, we welcome you into the academic fraternity of masters and doctors. We are proud of you and excited to see all that you have accomplished. If you end up in the academy training your own graduate students, kindly remember the new graduate student you were when you came to the University of Arizona, and be a good mentor as we have tried to be to you. To all our graduates, congratulations, and to all the faculty mentors, thank you for what you do. And now it is my great honor to introduce Dr. Allison Futrell. Dr. Futrell is an associate professor of history in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. She joined the University of Arizona in 1992 after receiving her MA in archaeology and her PhD in ancient history and Mediterranean archaeology from the University of California at Berkeley. Dr. Futrell's research is guided by her interest in the symbols and rituals of power in the Roman Empire, with particular focus on the deployment of gender and material culture in imperial politics. Since coming to the University of Arizona, she has developed courses on ancient games, on gender, and on antiquity and film, as well as graduate pedagogy course. She is the author and editor of Blood in the Arena, the Roman Games, and the Oxford Handbook on Sport and Spectacle in the Ancient World, as well as multiple pieces on the ancient Mediterranean and modern popular culture. Dr. Futrell is recognized in her field and more broadly as a leading expert on Roman games and a critical commentator on the uses of the distant past in mass culture. She has appeared frequently as an on-camera commentator for documentaries, shorts, and series, most recently for Colosseum, an 8-part series on the History Channel, for National Geographic, and for BBC History Extra, holding forth on such topics as gladiators, the Roman arena, Spartacus, Cleopatra, Boudicca, Hannibal, and the Bible. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Allison Futrell.
There's a little step here. Yay. Many, many thanks for that. I am so pleased and honored to be with you here today. This is a momentous day, for you, all ye earners of graduate degrees here. It's a momentous day as well for all of you who are friends and family and supporters of our graduates. Today is the sum of many, many moments for all of us who have been your mentors, your teachers, your advisors, and your companions on this long journey. We enjoy working with all of our students, of course, but our graduate students are really special to us. We spend years with our graduate students in intense interactions, in seminars, in colloquia, conferring face-to-face, on Zoom, and in the margin comments of reams of papers. We work with them to see their promise fulfilled. They come to us, of course, with a strong foundation, with good preparation, sterling recommendations, and with something more, a spark of curiosity, a need to know, a distinctive way of organizing their thoughts, something a little extra about them. We are beside them as they move beyond these beginnings into a larger world of discovery, a challenging realm of discussion, of argument, and collaboration. We get to see those moments in seminar when they get it, when the light bulb comes on. It's really a magical moment, I can assure you of that. When they move to a new level of understanding, when they find new pathways to systematize and access the complications of human interaction. We test and attest to their attainment of intellectual mastery, of substantial bodies of scholarship. We recognize and applaud their ability to visualize new ranges of possibility opened up by their hard work. And we bear witness to their strengthening compassion that comes from understanding the nuanced complexities of human experience in all its manifold variations. It is a powerful process, and it is infinitely rewarding for us, your mentors. And we are so grateful and so proud to have shared it with you. The past few years have been challenging, to say the very least. A lot of stuff has been happening. Hard things, painful experiences, and it's been a fraught time for colleges and universities. It's a difficult period for higher education as a whole, with questions about its sustainability and its purpose, and about the role of social sciences, recognition of their importance, but also efforts to limit the kinds of questions we can ask. It's easier, of course, in many ways to privilege the more practical courses of study, maybe more obvious career paths, sciences, engineering, technology. I am well aware of this, believe me, I'm a historian. Many people, too many people, think of history as the compilation and memorization of specific kinds of important information, lists of dates for battles and treaties. Practice of history, they think, is a rote recitation of these facts, a sort of glorified timeline. We are regularly asked by our undergraduates, do I need to know this? Will this be on the exam? We in the academy are increasingly challenged by members of our larger community. Do we need to know this? And I can say, yes, you need to know this. We all need to know this. Not a list of stuff that happened, but the memory of humanity writ large, as individuals, as societies, as kinships and populations, our struggles to survive, sustaining ourselves and our families, working across the lines created by class and culture to find meaning in our creation and in the world around us, to see the efforts that have strengthened our institutions, our connections, and to understand clear-eyed our bitter divisions and their causes, to help each other bear the pain these actions can stir, the discomfort, as well as celebrate the hard-fought achievements of the human spirit, the possibilities for recognition, for respect, for accord that honors both what we share and what distinguishes us. So, I'd like to tell you all, as you go through this transition, that there is a test out there, that wisdom for the present and what we face in time to come is built upon deep knowledge that you have attained of who we are, of what led to now, where we came from, of how we function together and as individuals, of how we communicate with one another, how we build structures, political, social, and intellectual, that enable growth and resilience. You have the skills. You have the commitment, obviously, the insight, and the passion to undertake this test. Congratulations.
Thank you, Allison. Before we move on to the presentation of the graduates, I would like to take a moment to recognize this year's Graduate Teaching Award winners. Please join me in congratulating Andrew V. Charles from the Department of Linguistics, winner of the Outstanding Graduate Teaching Assistant Associate Award. And Dr. Amy Fatzinger from the Department of American Indian Studies, winner of the SBS Graduate Teaching Award. Their dedication to teaching exemplifies the kind of excellence in graduate education that keeps our discipline strong. Just as they have mentored their students, now we will be honoring those mentored. I am now pleased to welcome back to the stage Dr. Ana Ochera O'Leary, professor and head of the Department of Mexican American Studies, to present the graduates with master's degrees.
Good afternoon again. It's my honor to begin the presentation of the graduate degrees. The awarding of an advanced degree in a discipline, an academic discipline, is a particular special honor for only 8% of all college degrees in the United States, so you're among a selected few. The master's level and only so only 8% are awarded at the master's level, and only 2% are awarded at the doctoral level. We celebrate this achievement by incorporating the long-standing tradition of scholarly dress into our commencement ceremony. This is one of the few occasions where faculty at U.S. universities dress in full academic regalia. The tradition dates back to the formation of early universities in Europe, beginning around the 12th century. The tradition of hooding connects us to those scholars who have come before us and those who will shape the future long after we are gone. Today, graduates will be hooded by their faculty advisor or a dean. We will begin with the master's students, and I will ask that the faculty on stage follow along and be prepared to hood your students. We are pleased to have Dr. Kristen Limestand on the stage with us today for today's ceremony. As Vice Provost for the Graduate Education and Dean of the Graduate College, she is the Dean of the college that, technically speaking, awards your degree. So we will begin now. Yes, thank you. So let us begin with a few masters joining us from afar. They're here joining us virtually. The master's students come, let's see. Oh, okay. We have Mayra Aguilar from the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences joining us virtually. We have Diana Ivy joining us virtually. She is graduating from the School of Journalism. We have Alyssa Peterson joining virtually, graduating from the School of Government and Public Policy. Congratulations. I'll do it this way. Thank you. The following graduates are graduating from the Department of History. Zoe Harrison, hooded by Dr. Catherine Morrissey. Now we have students from the Department of Philosophy. We have Daniel Burchett, hooded by Dr. Mark Timmons, graduate of philosophy. Oh, sorry. The following are graduates from the Department of Communication. We have Kothner Albater, hooded by Dr. Chris Seagren.
Dr. Kate Kensky. Just say Dr.
Oh,
Kate Kensky.
Dr. Kate Kensky. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Mamoru Sakura, hooded by Dr. Jake Harwood. The following are graduates from the School of Middle Eastern and North African Studies. Honey Kang, hooded by Dr. Ben Fortna. The following are graduates from the School of Anthropology. Chanti Ceballos Presina, hooded by Dr. Daniela Triadan and Dr. Takeshi Inomara. Catherine King, hooded by Dr. Stacy Tecott. Okay. Now, graduates from the Transdisciplinary Human Rights Program. Ana Laura Mendoza, hooded by Dr. William Simmons. McKenna Broughton, hooded by Dr. Met Brogdon. Melanie Cornejo, hooded by Dr. Met Brogdon. Marisol Flores Aguirre, hooded by Dr. Met Brogdon. Teresa Montenegro, hooded by Dr. Met Brogdon. Eso. Oh. Now from the Center of Latin American Studies. Jake Dean, hooded by Dr. Antonio Bracelar da Silva. Jacob Suitz, hooded by Dr. Antonio José Bacelar da Silva. Olivia Conklin, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Oglesby. Aime Slagle, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Oglesby. Luis Velasco, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Oglesby. Now, the Department of Linguistics. Rosalia Badhorse, hooded by Dr. Ofelia Cepeda. Gabriela Benavides, hooded by Dr. Michael Hammond. Channing Donaldson, hooded by Dr. Michael Hammond. Rachel Hansen, hooded by Dr. Michael Hammond. Jackson Mustaller, hooded by Dr. Michael Hammond. Now, the Department of English. Bayu Dharmala, hooded by Dr. Shelley Staples. Sean Chadwick, hooded by Dr. Aime Mapes. Bekti Febriati, hooded by Dr. Shelley Staples. Iran Maria Rascon, hooded by Dr. Dwight Atkinson. Dilara Avji, hooded by Dr. Christine Tardy. Alona Kladieva, hooded by Dr. Christine Tardy. Andri Shamshurin, hooded by Dr. Christine Tardy. Now, the School of Journalism. Paula Soet, hooded by Paula Diaz, hooded by Dr. Janine Relly. Emma Bocado, hooded by Dr. Susan Swanberg. Sean Burridge, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Vanessa Lucero, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Andrea Moravito, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Ashley Morales, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Jacob O'Rourke, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Mar Ericilinda Ruiz Barraza, hooded by Dr. Monica Shadha. Now for the School of Government and Public Policy. Ana Maria Correa, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Baldwin. Erica Burkhart, hooded by Dr. Laura Beckinson. Laura Anna Jones, hooded by Dr. Laura Beckinson. Michael Leon Wei Ming, hooded by Dr. Laura Beckinson. Shaheletu Yelevo, hooded by Dr. Williams Simmons. From the Human Rights Program. Maxwell Ratcht, hooded by Dr. Laura Beckinson. Now, the School of Information. Grace Shemulinsky, hooded by Dr. Stephen Bethard. Maloney Nichols, hooded by Dr. Zach Lister Katz. Monica Achondo, hooded by Dr. Berlin Loa. Suzanne Collette, hooded by Dr. Berlin Loa. Caitlin Ruelas, hooded by Dr. Berlin Loa. Lindsay Curley, hooded by Dr. Berlin Loa. Karen Salas, hooded by Dr. Berlin Loa. Nora Backham, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Thomas Barker, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Destiny Dervage, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Christine Evangelista, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Sophie Foranger, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Kayla Hughes, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Kimberly Oldeker, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Christine Rogers, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Jordan Romero, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Harrison Schronburn, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Sydney Stoll, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Nicholas Tang, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Ting Ting Thompson, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Now the School of Geography, Development, and Environment. Tenzin Yankee, hooded by Dr. Oran Mayadar. Sarah Clark, hooded by Dr. Carl Bauer. Chris Destish, hooded by Dr. Carl Bauer. Elena Ioli, hooded by Dr. Carl Bauer. Jessica Noafor, hooded by Dr. Carl Bauer. Craig Zarnowski, hooded by Dr. Carl Bauer. Matthew Bodden, hidden by Dr. Yoga Korogankar. Caitlin Etienne, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korankarkar. Maggie Banks, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korankarkar. Cassandra Hall, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Pamela Keene, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Lucia Lopez, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Akila Mathis Adams, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Poonam Reddy Ramesh Babu, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. David Schaefer, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Matthew Skyberg, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Gregory Stanley, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Reishui Wong, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. Brandon Whitney, hooded by Dr. Yoga Korangarkar. I am now pleased to welcome Dr. Jane Saviska, SBS Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Studies, to present the terminal degrees.
Thank you, Dr. O'Leary. The doctorate is the highest degree conferred by any university. Not only are the doctoral degree recipients the ultimate academic achievers, they will now take their place among the world's scholarly societies, both teaching the next generation of students and creating the next generation of art, science, insight, knowledge, and discovery. I am particularly pleased to say that Arizona has been recognized as one of the top universities nationally in awarding PhDs to women and people of color. We will begin with the Department of American Indian Studies. Giselle Ramon Saburon, hooded by Dr. Ron Trosper. Her dissertation title is The History of Land and Water in San Xavier. That's okay. Next, the Department of History. Paul Ruffner, hooded by Dr. Catherine Morrissey. Dissertation title, Performing Politics, Music, Representation, and Control in Chile. Next, the Department of Philosophy. Sean Witten, hooded by Dr. Tom Cristiano. Dissertation title, Purely Dynamic, Eudaimonism. Next, the School of Government and Public Policy. Siran Chen, hooded by Dr. Jessica Maves Braithwaite. Dissertation title, Chiefs, Elections, and Violence, Mobilization and Demobilization of African Voters. Now the School of Sociology. Peter Orr, hooded by Dr. Ron Breiger. Dissertation title, Breathing Like a State, Air Pollution Control in the United States from 1910 to 1970. Unsong Yoon, hooded by Dr. Ronald Breiger. Dissertation title, The Influence of Competitors on Decision-Making, Comparative Studies of Reference Groups. And now the School of Information. Jack Clark, hooded by Dr. Catherine Brooks. Exploring the effects of multisensory extraneous load on attention and task performance for training contexts in virtual reality. Zegu Zhang, hooded by Dr. Stephen Petard. Dissertation title, Improving Geocoding by Incorporating Geographical Hierarchy and Attributes into Transformer Networks. Next, the Department of Linguistics. Megan Harvey, hooded by Dr. Robert Henderson. Dissertation title, Documenting Reawakening Languages, a Case Study of Tunica. Amber Lubera, hooded by Dr. Michael Hammond. Dissertation title, Improving Language Learning Outcomes Through Linguistic Training. Next, the School of Geography, Development, and Environment. Anita Lucchese, hooded by Dr. John Paul Jones III. Dissertation title, Mapping Geographies of Violence Against Indigenous People and Self-Determined Safe Indigenous Futurities. Julia Davies, hooded by Dr. Tom Evans. Dissertation title, Urban Food System Transformations and Governance in Sub-Saharan Africa. Andrew Zimmer, hooded by Dr. Tom Evans. Dissertation title, Dynamics of Rural-Urban Food Systems in Southern Africa. And now the Department of Communication. Jules Barbati, hooded by Dr. Steve Rains. Dissertation title, Addressing Ambivalence, Using Inoculation Strategies to Bolster the Positive Effects of Intergroup Contact Episodes. R. Amanda Cooper, hooded by Dr. Chris Segrin. Dissertation title, Communication and Caregiver Resilience in Dementia. Alicia Fanari, hooded by Dr. Margaret Pitts. Dissertation title, Navigating Study Abroad Reentry, Family Experiences, Communication Practices, and Relational Changes of Returning Students and Their Parents. Jeanette Murray, hooded by Dr. Corey Floyd. Dissertation title, Kindness in Hospitals, a Mixed Methods Reasoned Action Approach to Understanding Pro-Social Communication in Healthcare. And now the School of Anthropology. Gitanjali Nanadesikan, hooded by Dr. Evan McLean. Dissertation title, Genetic and Endocrine Associations with Dog Behavior, Cognition, and Training Success in a Working Dog Population. Kate McPherson, hooded by Dr. Ivy Pike. Dissertation title, Examining Developmental Plasticity in the Skeletal System Through a Sensitive Developmental Windows Framework. Jose Raul Ortiz, hooded by Dr. Takeshi Inomata and Dr. Daniela Triadan. Dissertation titled Chronology, Technology, and Social Boundaries in the Maya Highland, the Classic to Post-Classic Transition at Kixpec, Guatemala. Rachel Rosenbaum, hooded by Dr. Brian Silverstein. Congratulations. Maintaining and Repairing Ruins of Violence, Infrastructural Politics in Lebanon. Paula Ugalde, hooded by Dr. Vance Holliday. Dissertation title, Reconstructing a Paleo-Indigenous Communal Space, Living Under the Trees in the Atacama Desert, Chile, 12,800 to 11,200 calendar years BP. Sydney Pullen, hooded by Dr. Diane Austin. Dissertation title, Living on the Labor of Others, Workforce Development, Underdevelopment, and Racist Ideologies in Rural South Carolina. Ismael Sanchez Morales, hooded by Dr. Stephen Kuhn. Dissertation title, From Littorals to Mountains, Variability of Vatarian Lithic Assemblages and Forager Landscape Use During the North African Middle Stone Age. And now the Department of English. Julie Kristen, hooded by Dr. Ann Shivers McNair. Dissertation titled, Designing Our Own Support, Grassroots Course Design Efforts for Social Justice in Technical and Professional Communication. Mark Ferrier, hooded by Dr. Brian Carter. Dissertation title, Wrath of Rogues, Epic Tension in the American Novel. Kathleen Krieger, hooded by Dr. Tom Miller. Dissertation titled, Challenging Neuronormativity, a Disability Studies Framework for Communal Justice in Writing Assessment. Ter Budatoki, hooded by Dr. Amy Mapes. Dissertation title, Linguistic Justice in Writing Studies, a Decolonial Perspective. Annalie Horton, hooded by Dr. Amy Mapes. Dissertation title, English is Unavoidable, the Implementation of Multilingual Writing in Foundations Writing, General Education, and Writing Across the Curriculum. Tamara Carter, hooded by Dr. Christina Ramirez. Dissertation title, Accountability Rhetorics in Language Policies, First-Year Composition Teachers and Culturally Sustaining Pedagogies. Uni Kim, hooded by Dr. Lee Madavoy. Dissertation title, Female Subjectivity and Narrative on the Move. Nicole Krivar, hooded by Dr. Lee Medavoy. Dissertation title, Neoliberal Trauma in Contemporary American Fiction.
Last one.
Mary Rosenberry, hooded by Dr. Lee Medavoy. Dissertation title, Forest and Traditional Ecological Knowledge in Contemporary American Novels. And now we close the 2023 Social and Behavioral Sciences Graduate Convocation Ceremony. As graduates of this great institution, I trust you'll go forth and make new discoveries, inspire others, and do your part in making this world a better, saner, and safer place for all people. Thank you for everyone for joining in today's celebration, and please wait until the platform recessional has exited the floor before you leave. Thank you.